Good morning. Welcome back with the MQL Suite Morning Market Report. Margin traded investment carries considerable economic risks, and whoever carries it out under his or her sole responsibility. Therefore, the oath of this teaching session assumes no responsibility for any direct or indirect damages in relation to investment decisions taken by the listener. Today is Tuesday, July 30th. Asian stock markets closed higher. Sydney sets a new record. At the end of the two-day meeting, the Bank of Japan confirmed the current cost of money, disappointing expectations for a further reduction to extremely low levels. The bank also said it was ready to intervene without hesitation with an extension of the stimulus measures, should the global economic slowdown have a negative impact on the country's economy. The data released tonight in Japan showed a fall in unemployment to plus 2.3% from 2.4% in May and a contraction in industrial production of 3.6% over the month from 2% in May. The U.S. delegation today is in Shanghai to resume commercial negotiations with China in the first meeting since May. The market has no great hopes for the good outcome of the talks. The FTSE MIB anticipates a subdued session start, held back by the banking sector. There is concern about the global economic slowdown after the International Monetary Fund has filed down its growth estimates due to the persistent uncertainties over the US-China trade dispute. As for Italy, the IMF has lowered its GDP growth estimates in 2020 to 0.8%, while leaving 2019 estimates unchanged at 0.1%. The lowering of growth estimates, together with the stability of the government, is widening the spread to 200 points, slowing down the banking sector. In France, the second preliminary estimate of second quarter GDP was released a short while ago. The figure showed GDP growth of 0.2%, slightly lower than expected and at first reading. On an annual basis, the increase is 1.3%, slightly higher than the first estimate. In Germany, the GfK index on consumer confidence in August stood at 9.7 points, in line with the consensus, but down compared to July. Today, the preliminary estimate of inflation in July will also be released. Expectations are for a harmonized annual rate of 1.3%, down from 1.5% in June. In agenda, the economic sentiment and consumer confidence of July will be announced in Europe. In the United States, the June Core PCE Index, July Consumer Confidence, API weekly stocks will be published in the afternoon. It's 10 o'clock. All indices move lower, with the only exception of the FTSE 100, which gains 0.12%, benefiting from the depreciation of the pound. Pending communications from the Bank of England, which will meet on Thursday, the pound falls against the basket of major currencies. Faced with increasingly consistent risk of Brexit no deal, the market is taking into account the possibility that the Bank of England will cut interest rates at the end of 2019 or at the beginning of 2020. The pound is losing 0.35% both against the Australian dollar and the Canadian dollar. It is losing 0.50% against the Swiss franc, 0.56% against the Japanese yen, 0.31% against the New Zealand dollar, and 0.41% against the American dollar. With the exception of the pound, the currencies record modest movements, pending the decisions of the Fed. After the better-than-expected GDP figure, the markets discount a 25 basis points rate cut, but expect another 3 cuts by the end of the year. The Australian dollar is mixed. It is losing 0.12% against the Swiss franc, 0.18% against the Japanese yen, and 0.05% against the American dollar. The euro is losing 0.08% against the Swiss franc, but is appreciating by 0.46% against the pound. Finally, the New Zealand dollar is depreciating. It is losing 0.02% against the Canadian dollar, 0.23% against the Japanese yen, and 0.11% against the American dollar. The gold is in decline. Instead, silver and platinum are appreciated. The silver is gaining 0.11%, while the platinum is gaining 0.06%. Crude oil is also appreciated. The Brent is gaining 0.41%, and the WTI is gaining 0.39%. The Japanese yen is the strongest currency this morning, with a 1.63% gain on the basket. The Swiss franc strengthens too by 0.91%. On the other hand, the pound is the weakest currency, with a 3.02% loss on the basket. The best performance is recorded by Euro GBP, that is earning 0.47%, while Euro NZD is earning 0.10% and Euro CAD is earning 0.09%. On the contrary, the worst performance is recorded by GBP Yen, that is losing 0.6%, while GBP CHF is losing 0.49% and GBP USD is losing 0.43%. That's all for now. If you liked our analysis, please leave a like one. Furthermore, I invite you to register on our channel to stay up to date. Have a nice trading.